the way the athletes are being treated are basically indentured servitude because they're not profiting in any way, shape, or form. And gone are the days where just be happy that you have a scholarship. They're not giving me a scholarship because they like me. They're giving me a scholarship because I'm good at basketball. And if they were able to exercise that power and say that we're not going to perform, oh, man, everybody would now be up in arms. What is going to happen when March Madness takes place? Everybody's going to be filling out brackets. As a matter of fact, people are going to be filling out multiple brackets. You know why? Because they're trying to get paid off the NCAA tournament. Everybody profits but the players, and that's a shame in this climate.
Go ahead, Max.
Well, sure, it's about controlling the player, and in fact, you can see certain parallels. And I don't want to overstate it here because nowadays you can go overseas and make money. You can go to the G League, all different. You have options here. So I don't want to reduce it.
G League. I just got to say this real quick, Max. G League is not an option. Let me tell you something you've never heard a young person say. I can't wait to grow up and play in the G League.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. But the point is, it's indentured servitude makes it sound as though you have no other options. College is still, for many, the best option, and that's the problem because it serves as a de facto minor league for the pros. But if you think about the history of our country and you say there are racial overtones, even if this is not the proximate cause, meaning the thing that leads right to the next thing, it's the foundation for everything. Does this sound familiar? Be grateful. You are fed. You are housed. Right? You're participating in the system from which you cannot earn money. That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And I think to even get deeper, I brought this up yesterday. The idea of amateurism, that it has to be so pure that you cannot profit in any way. It's not just that you must remain amateur in their system, in their tournament, right, where you can't profit from that. You can't profit at all. You can't sign an autograph. You can't take a bagel from an agent, right? You can't do anything. Is that about control exclusively, or is it about keeping someone in a state that is less than adulthood? And think of some of the stereotypes we've had in our country through the years as it relates to this country's original sin. It's from a time before you have adult cares and concerns, when you're still childlike in a way. And I think there's some of that in there. And let me finally say, guys, the NCAA and college basketball is a professional league. It's not, it is every single person gets paid except the players. It's a professional league with no labor costs. Professional. Everyone gets money. I am making money right now from these kids playing basketball by talking about it on TV. The NCAA makes money. The institutions make money. The Walt Disney Corporation we all make money. That means it is professional. It's just a professional league where the players don't get paid.
I need a yes or no answer because we need to get Stephen A. in because I didn't hear you answer the question. Should the players boycott?
I don't know. Should they boycott?
Yes or no?
No,
okay.
I wouldn't say they should boycott unless that's what they want to do. They have to feel it to boycott.
Okay.
What kind of an answer is that they shouldn't boycott unless that's what they want to do? They wouldn't boycott unless they wanted to do it. I mean, why wouldn't they boycott if they didn't want to do it?
No.
I mean, I understand it. But anyway.
No, it's not true. Go ahead.
Forget it. The point is, no, they shouldn't boycott. And here's why they shouldn't boycott, Jalen, for two reasons and two reasons only. Number one, that might get in the way of their dreams, A. But B, and more important, because you can't get those years back, but B, here's the biggest reason why they shouldn't boycott. Because there's another avenue to explore exactly what you're alluding to, Jalen. I'm just coming about it a different way. Rather than the players boycotting, how about we all do what we can to force the NCAA to ultimately have a players association, a student-athlete association representing the interest of the players. If it happens in professional sports, why can't it happen in collegiate sports? Because you have to remember, if you have a players association, right, a student-athletes association per se, then you engage in collective bargaining. Then you have access, at least to some degree, to the kind of revenue that's being generated, thereby having the ability to decipher, dissect, and really determine the level of revenue you believe you should have a piece of. And I think that's incredibly important here. The players have no representation. The student athlete has no representation. They're at the mercy of the NCAA. They're powerless. That's what we're really speaking about. And so if you boycott, okay, well, ultimately the student athlete's going to get paid. Well, how are they going to get paid? How many of them are going to get paid? Which sports are going to get paid, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think there should be a student athletes association for the football, for NCAA football, and there should be a student athlete association for basketball. And by that, you know what? You make sure that everybody's represented accordingly, and they can work to decipher exactly what kind of revenue these players should get a piece of. I think that's
the
what's
issue is
here.
Unfortunately, Stephen A., the media isn't going to force the NCAA to do anything. By the way, a nonprofit corporation.
I'm not saying us alone. I'm saying all of us.
Here's who can actually make a difference here.
Government.
College coaches. Because they're the people who work with the young men every day. They are also profiting, and we leave them out multiple ways, from the university, from the shoe company, television contracts, endorsements, appearances, autograph signings. Imagine if they took a stiffer stand and stood behind the players. These terms like scandal and corruption and amateurism, we shouldn't be talking about them as it relates to Ayton possibly getting $100,000 to go to Arizona. And look how far apart the NCAA is. Sean Miller, on the phone allegedly talking about this money, isn't allowed to coach. But the player, y'all ain't messing with our money, is allowed to play. How about that?
Real quick, Jalen, how can the NBA players stand in solidarity with them?
How about this for NBA players? Great question. Imagine if NBA players decided, instead of being acknowledged for the college they went to, they just acknowledged the high school they went to. So just saying, Jalen Rose, Detroit Southwestern High School.
When they're introduced.
When they get introduced in the arenas. That would also send a message and show a sign of solidarity to the collegiate athletes that we all understand that are getting taken advantage of the way the system is set up currently.
I think that's a terrible example coming from you, because I'm proud of the Fab Five. I don't want to forget the Fab Five. I don't want you to forget the Fab Five. I don't want anybody in this nation to forget the Fab Five, which is one of the greatest times I've ever had watching college basketball. It's top 3 all time in all my years of watching college basketball. I don't want to hear about Detroit Southwest or wherever the hell you went to high school instead of Fab Five at Michigan. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that. No, I want to hear that. No, terrible idea, Jalen. Terrible.
A member of the Fab Five is calling. A member of the Fab Five is calling for a boycott of the NCAA tournament. That is significant, and you have to ask yourself why.
NCAA making up $800 million a season. March Madness alone surpassing $1 billion in TV ad revenue. Coming up, Roger Goodell,
Jimmy King, Ray Jackson,
Jerry Jones threats to the NFL slide. We'll explain if the league is making the right move here. And 76ers fans are doing the most to lure LeBron to Philly, but could it actually work? Jalen gives us his take.